How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the corner. And the DM as always. And then, of course, today, I'm chiming in on the pirate software situation. Now, originally, I'll admit, I wasn't actually going to make a video. I had considered it this morning, even after Charlie's video, where I got a certain screenshot, which we'll talk about and show later. However, Pirate Nation put out a tweet, and we'll get to it in a moment. Actually, no, we'll get to it now. It's the reason why I decided to make this video. So he put out a tweet that said, reminder that Pirate Software is a key figure at Off-Brand Studios, which is publishing Rivals of Ether 2, a paid live service game with microtransactions. This is why he is against the Stop Killing Games initiative. Now, here's the thing. I don't think that this is the specific reason why. I think Thor is just a fucking moron when it comes to the Stop Killing Games initiative. I think that's why he's against it, is because he's a fucking moron. Plain and simple. He has woefully misrepresented what the fucking movement is actually about. He is he has an ego that the level of ego that this man has is greater than fucking Asmongold's ego. And Asmongold's ego is fucking unscalable. That's how massive it is. Okay. But this man's ego is somehow fucking bigger than that. And I just. So, the entire reason why I'm actually making it because of this is because in this long ass tweet, at the he tries to say where is it? I need to find this. Hang on. Right here. So right here it says, outside of that, because right up, we'll start with this one. He says, I left AAA in 2016 because I fucking hate how the industry is now and prefer indie entirely. I don't like Blizzard and I would have stayed working there. Or I would have stayed working there. That's why I quit. That's the entire point. Fuck AAA and what many studios turn games into. Outside of that, no, I am not financially supported by live service games. I make a single player RPG and am director of strategy for off brand games. In that position, I am paid minimum wage by my own decision because I care about games succeeding, not about profiting off of them. Now, here's the thing. I don't doubt that he cares about games succeeding. However, he absolutely cares about profiting off of them. Otherwise, he wouldn't be fucking charging money for his own games. If he wasn't worried about profiting off of video games, he wouldn't, like, you don't sell a game or a product. It doesn't even have to be a fucking game. You don't sell a product, an apple, a banana, a fucking pizza, whatever. You don't sell it for more than what you have to invest to create the thing unless you want to fucking profit off of it. It is the only reason to be doing it for more than what you have to actually pay to produce the thing. It's just fact. Okay. But not only that, okay, he links to this post and cites it as proof he is being paid minimum wage. So what does he say here? Okay. He says that over the last 6 months, I've been lucky enough to meet and work with some astounding people here at Off-Brand Studios. Those on the production team are some of the most incredibly talented, blah, 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 a bunch of PR bullshit, right? For those of us leaving, know that you are not worth less. The business just can't afford you right now. More PR horse shit. I hope that we work together again and blah, blah, blah in the future. As director of strategy for off-brand games, my focus has not changed. I am dedicated to making sure that we are the best damn publishing house we can be and one that doesn't rip off game developers in the process. I also want to ensure we have the best possibility for success going forward. As such, I will be foregoing my pay indefinitely and continuing my work here at the legally required minimum wage. I was not asked to do this in any respect. All you have all of you have supported me more than enough as it is, no matter who you are, being creative, blah, 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 whatever fucking horseshit, right? And that's in response to this. You can pause and read if you want. I don't really fucking care. Here's the issue that I have with this. All we have here as the proof is him saying he's being paid minimum wage. We have no pay stub. We have no legal document stating this is what he's getting paid. There's no actual proof outside of his fucking word. Okay. But regardless of that, even if that is true, and we'll just say for the sake of argument that it is, right? Okay. If we go to Steam right now, okay, this game, okay, Rivals of Aether 2, publisher, off brand games. You know what a publisher gets? Royalties. They get paid a percentage of the profit that the game makes. Okay. And because they get a percentage of the profits that the game makes, that means that Thor, you are being sustained in part by a live service game, which means you are directly lying to everyone. It doesn't matter if you are getting a direct, like, it doesn't matter if Rivals of Aether is not specifically paying you. They are paying off brand studios who is paying you. Therefore, part of this pay that you are getting from off brand studios is coming because of Rivals of Aether 2, a live service game. Okay. However, not only this, but I've already watched both of his fucking videos right here. You can go and watch them if you want. I'm not going to because I want to make this video short and concise. But then he also goes on, before I actually get to how he's wrong, he also goes on to say that he talked to Charlie and Josh Triface in the DMs. First off, he really didn't even talk to Charlie. He played a fucking ring around the rosy argument. Okay, he acknowledges that he was a dick to Ross for no fucking reason, and he says that he's sorry for that. Sure, we'll say we'll just believe that he's sorry. You know, we don't necessarily have any reason not to be, right? And he acknowledges that he shouldn't have lashed out how he did. Cool, fantastic, right? Then he goes on to say that on the developer side, I've been in a constant battle with people online for nearly a decade, trying to inform them how difficult it is to make and release video games, in spite of the fact that he's constantly talking about on stream and in videos how easy it is to make video games, and that if you want to make a video game, you should just go and do it. But we're going to ignore all of that right now because that's not a part of the argument. The idea is that any of these technical hurdles are easy to overcome and would be simple to implement is the exact kind of thing I've been fighting. We'll get to that in a second. I'm just going to pull up mine for a moment. When I bring up the issues of leaving online games in a functional, playable state after sunsetting, I'm always met with responses diminishing the effort needed to do that. No, you're not. This is not a simple hurdle, no one said it is, to overcome, and it's exactly why I don't like this initiative. You're making it seem like they're saying that it's this super easy thing and that they could just flip a switch and it's fucking done. No one has fucking said that. You can't leave these challenges up to a figure it out mentality, and you can't diminish the work of those on the dev side just because you want your way. Here's the thing, no one has said any of this shit. No one has said that it needs to be just left up to a figure it out mentality. Okay, the entire point of the Stop Killing Games movement is to get a conversation started so we can talk about this and get some actual laws being like thought about. Okay, that's how literally everything is fucking started. You have to figure it out. Okay, but you don't even actually have to figure it out. We'll get to that in a moment. Okay. Movements like this showcase to me how little the general public understands about game development. Gee, I fucking wonder why. Most people don't give a fuck, which I would expect as someone who claims to have worked at Blizzard, you would understand this, especially now that you're indie, but obviously you don't. Modern gaming architecture and online games as a whole. Gee, I wonder why. See my previous statement. That's why I put out videos poking holes in this because it sets the entire conversation back to the Stone Age in terms of developer slash player understanding. Making shit is hard. Making shit when people think it's easy is harder. So here is the issue with all of this. The videos that he put out are hyper fucking curated. Okay, the videos he put out are videos that are specifically made to make it seem like his counter arguments are calm, logical, well thought out. When in actuality, if you go to his streams and look at the clips, his response is anything but. So these are just two clips that I'm going to show.
How pirate software killed a movement he spent years promoting.
If you try to tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not want to run one at all, then no one's going to run them.
Oh no!
No one said that.
Oh, he wheeled out that line about publishers having to support the game forever. He was literally watching the video earlier where it says it.
What the initiative would not do: require endless support, require publishers to give up source code, require publishers to give up intellectual property rights. He literally watched this.
It won't do that in big letters. That wasn't enough. We just can't stop gamers from going there, even when we spell it out.
Click the link in the description to support the creator of Stop Killing Games if you're in the EU.
We're going to pose a problem to you and then shit on your desk and then make you clean it up and figure it out. It's a nail bomb to take out a wasp nest.
3 here, ready? They have ceased to exist.
We require publishers to leave games they have sold to customers in a working state at the time of shutdown.
How are you going to do that with World of Warcraft? How are you going to do that?
I don't know, maybe one of the countless fucking private servers, right?
Of tickets at Blizzard for private servers for World of Warcraft. It's a live service game. When we turn the servers off, the game dies because it's all rendered completely on the server side, and we do that specifically for security reasons because if it's all rendered.
By the way, the game itself is not rendered on the server side. That's why you have files on your computer. So that way your computer can render the stuff. The servers don't render the game.
Rendered client side, then you'd be able to cheat the game dramatically easier.
What the servers are doing is it is loading the game. Okay, it is not actually doing the rendering. That's why when you go into a zone and you're experiencing lag, there are parts of the zone that just don't load in. They're rendered. Your computer is working. If you pull up any game, in fact, I'm going to do it right fucking now. Okay, we're going to pull up Path of Exile right now. Okay, and I'm going to hop into the game and everything, and you're going to see how fucking wrong he actually is. Okay, so if we just do this, right? And okay, so we're in game. The game is running. You can see, right? Right? You can see that it's running. And then if we go over here to our task manager, oh, look at this. Oh, it's utilizing 30% of my CPU and quite a large amount of my memory. And then if we go into processes, we can see that my GPU, my graphics card, is running at almost 80%. Okay, so we can see that my computer is doing something. If my computer is not rendering the game, what the fuck is my computer doing?
Of course we keep your money, because you bought the experience, you experienced it, and then the game was over. And eventually the community dies, and we turn the servers off, dude. No. You're going to kill the entire live service industry by doing that.
Fuck the live service industry.
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
So, moving on, right? So, if you want all games, if you wanted to, you need to listen to people, blah, 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 right? So, what is the initiative that he's talking about? Because he doesn't fucking link it anywhere, but he does. In fact, we'll just use Thor's own tweet against him, okay? He constantly references this very first paragraph and only cites the very first paragraph whenever he's talking about this, okay? And so what does it do? It says that the initiative calls to require publishers that sell or license video games to consumers in the European Union or related features and assets sold for video games they operate to leave said video games in a functional, playable state. That's it. They're not demanding that they hand over the source code to their servers. They're not demanding that they keep an infinite runtime on them, so that they support them indefinitely even when there's no one playing them. or even when there's only one person playing them. But I want to just, take one little tiny iota step forward to the very next paragraph, where it says specifically the initiative seeks to prevent the remote disabling of video games by the publishers before providing reasonable means to continue functioning of said video games without the involvement from the side of the publisher. It does not say that that they have to make it so that you can continue playing this online game online. No, 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 no. It says that you can still play the game. Okay. The initiative does not seek to acquire ownership of said video games, associated intellectual rights, or monetization rights. Neither does it expect the publisher to provide resources for the said video game once they discontinue it, while leaving it in a reasonably functional, playable state. Okay. Now, the entire reason I pulled up mine is because right here, I did just a tiny little bit of research, okay, about video games that used to be online only that have since been sunsetted and are still playable. Okay, so the very first one, Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2005. Publisher, LucasArts. Year of sunset. Official multiplayer shutdown in 2014. 2 years before he left Blizzard. Full offline modes are available. Project Spark. Publisher, Microsoft. Sunset, 2016. The same year he left Blizzard. Offline mode preserved in final update. So they did a final update before they officially sunsetted it that made it so you could still play it in offline. Okay. Halo 2 Vista, Microsoft, 2015. Okay, this is when the GFWL servers went down. But LAN and offline still works. Demon Souls for the PS3. Publisher, Sony/FromSoft. Year sunset, 2018. Full offline playable. Drive Club, Sony, 2020. Mostly offline, you just can't get the online challenges. Boo hoo. Gran Turismo Sport, Sony, 2024. Some offline play remains after server shutdown. Battleborn Campaign, 2K Games, 2021. Campaign technically playable offline with hacks and mods. So not officially supported, but it can be done. We've already solved this issue. This isn't an issue anymore. We've solved, or had solved, the issue of games not being able to be played after they get sunsetted. And for a more modern, still running game, Final Fantasy XIV, Yoshi P is in the works right now as the game is being developed for the next 15, 20, 25 years of ensuring that the game, if and when they do have to sunset their support of it, can be played offline. That all of the content can be experienced solo. This is already solved. This is already being done. But Pirate Software wants to keep his massive fucking ego bloated, refuse to accept or acknowledge any kind of fucking fault with his arguments, and overall wants to just kill this initiative. And the entire reason why is because he's a fucking moron.